And it's about managing the innovation and experimentation with the risks. One thing I've found over the years of specializing in digital is people get excited about the new shiny technology and forget about the risks or say it's all going to be fine. And then it's not.
Yeah.
And I think with AI, it can be divided into a couple of different categories. One being reliance or accuracy of the output, confidentiality, copyright, personal data, and ethics. And if you look at each of those in turn, say, look at reliance at first, ultimately, a generative AI model is only as good as the data it's trained on. But you don't know what data it's been trained on. Again, going back to, is it complete? Is it accurate? Has it just been scraped from the internet? So some of it's just been made up. If you have an AI result, which you then incorporate into your design or you incorporate into your report, you're still responsible for that. Saying to your client, oh, the AI got it wrong, is like saying the calculator got it wrong. It's not going to help.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real risk. It's more of a risk now, arguably, with the fact generative AI models can recognize photos and images. So someone may upload an image and say, is this connection safe? And the generative AI model says, yes, based on the data I have, it is. And it's not, and something bad happens. The consequences could be serious.
Yeah.
And it's being able to balance that out. I noticed OpenAI is now launching a store. So third-party developers can develop things for the ChatGPT. What if one of those third-party developed apps has an error in it and you don't realize now, or you realize 2 years from now and you have to redo part of the project? And then lots of fingers get pointed about whose fault it is. Probably won't be able to rely on claiming against the software developer, understandably, because they say, well, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You blindly relied on it. I think also there's the issue about insurance. So professional indemnity insurance covers negligence. If you knowingly did something which was really reckless and stupid, knowing it could be wrong, our insurer is going to say, well, why should we pay for you doing that? And that's the insurance industry is probably going to have to keep up to date with that as well. So then you look at confidentiality. And I think it's really tempting, and I bet loads of people listening have done this. Upload some data, say, can you reformat it, make it look pretty? Do you have something similar I can use? But if you do that with a publicly available generative AI model, you're literally throwing it into a public forum. It's like walking down the street and handing it over to someone. You can't delete it and you can't remove it. If someone asks for the right question, all that data could be extracted. And you lose confidentiality, but also most people's contracts will say you will not reveal details of this project. So you're also in breach of your contracts. Clients aren't going to be too pleased if they find out you've released all this confidential information. Could also be quite dangerous. If you're doing a particularly sensitive project and you upload a particular drawing and say, can you fix this part of it? That drawing's there forever. And you often see this in a separate way. When it got very trendy on various social media to create avatars of yourself, and you put out 6 photos and it creates the avatar. But when you read the privacy details, it says we can use your photos for whatever we want, forever, in any way. And you've lost your image, effectively.
And that's why I don't have an AI generated avatar.
Exactly.
Because I saw that. I was like, I don't love that. And I see a lot of people being frustrated about, different avenues on the internet being, just scraped to train these models. And folks are like, well, this is my data, but obviously you sign a user agreement to join a forum or anything else. And so they can kind of do whatever they want. But I know other tools are not necessarily getting permission to go and scrape all of that, but just plugging things in blindly, as you just, pointed out, there is risk there. And I don't know if everybody thinks about that, but I couldn't imagine a customer being very excited if they go play a ChatGPT and see the drawings popping out of their, skiff or something that's incredibly, secure because you wanted to ask it some random question. And I don't know if most folks recognize that. So I appreciate you pointing it out, because there's so many things we need to consider when we're just floating things out into the internet.